Let's talk about it,
babe.
Need for Speed 2019. Yeah, we're gonna continue this series. I kind of like stopped doing this for some reason. I don't know, just been busy. But today we're gonna talk about something very, very dear to my heart. Something which I would consider the main reason why I played a lot of Need for Speed 2015. Speed lists. Now don't get me wrong, Need for Speed 2015 had a lot of redeeming factors underneath the skin. You know, the customization was good, even the post support, you know, the post-launch support, fucking hell, I can't speak. The post-launch DLC was really, really good. Eddie's challenge added a bit of playtime for me. Prestige mode is something which I'm still yet to complete. If you've watched some of my latest videos, you'll know that.
What does this have to do with player versus player and speed lists?
Well, the post-launch was very good in 2015. In fact, speed list was actually added through post-launch support. Some of you guys who, you know, maybe weren't, you know, following Need for Speed 2015 back then, you might not have known that, so I just want to clear that up. Fast forward to Payback, we were promised a ranked mode with ranked stuff and ranked things. That wasn't what happened. Yeah, I made this video like literally, I'm pretty sure it was like a week after launch. Was it a week after launch? The 5th of November 2017. When did Payback actually come out? So Payback came out on the 10th, so early access was probably like late October, 31st of October, spooky season. The point is that I made this video a very, very long time ago. The reason why multiplayer was a mess in that game, well, there's a lot more than one reason. Sometimes in ranked, if you won races, you still get demoted, which makes absolutely no sense. The ramming was a serious problem. There was no option to turn collisions off. You couldn't go into private lobbies. There was a lot of problem with speed lists. Even the balancing of cars hadn't been fixed from the last game. For example, the RSR, like 2 years on, was still OP. How is that still OP? Two years for, and the car's still OP. That makes no sense. And the Huracan was also bad. And to add to that, for some reason, they added more OP cars into the game. So the Regera and the Beetle were also ridiculously overpowered. It was a mess. 2019 is upon us. Let's talk about what I actually want to see from a good speed lists thing, a PvP system. Let's see if Need for Speed can actually be the first game from launch to actually have a good PvP system. That's what I want to see. That's what we're going to talk about today. So let's go ahead and get nerdy and... Multiplayer needs a lot of things from Payback, and we're not necessarily going to be talking about, you know, free burn challenges, online free roam, because that's a different kind of story for a different day. Today, we're purely going to talk about casual speed lists and ranked speed lists. So we might return to this topic one day and talk a bit about free run challenges and all that kind of stuff, because there's a lot of other things I want to talk about that. But today, we're talking about casual and ranked. So casual should be very, very simple. You don't get punished for leaving casual lobbies. In casual lobbies, it's a mix of party modes and race modes, and a voting system should be in place. I'm not talking about that shitty, like, weird voting system they had in Payback where it was based off wins or something. No, just give me a vote, one vote for each person. You get to pick what you want to see next, and basically, if you are in that lobby, you don't have the same type of mode repeat itself within 2 races. So if you've just come out of a game of cops and robbers, then you don't have the option to vote for another cops and robbers race, because that's completely pointless and defeats the whole purpose of having a voting system. You might have seen cops and robbers. What are we talking about? Yes, I want to see party modes in casual. So this can include, like I said, cops and robbers. If you don't know what cops and robbers is, this is cops and robbers.
So basically, it's called cops and robbers. So you have the cop side and the robber side.
That's from Need for Speed Undercover. That's from an old video. I might have actually included some of my old voice there. It was very, very squeaky a few years ago. Yeah, cops and robbers, that needs to make a comeback. I'm not going to explain what that is in this video. There's some cops, there's some robbers, there's some money. The robbers want to get the money. The cops are like, no, don't get the money. And that's it. You're given some cars, you know, already by the game, a preset cars by the game, and that's how it works. I wouldn't usually let people, I don't think letting people use their own cars in this mode would make any sense, and because they'd have to be kind of skinned with a cop skin anyway. It just wouldn't make a lot of sense. And in an ideal world, this mode wouldn't have any weapons. It would just be literally like how it was in Undercover, because if it's not broken, don't fix it. The mode in Undercover was absolutely sick. Obviously, on top of that, King, you know, is an obvious one that you could do. Infected is also an obvious one you can do. I guess, in a way, cops and robbers kind of like King of the Hill, but not really. But even things like King of the Hill could be added. A lot of party modes which could be added that haven't been seen in other racing games. We obviously know Playground games are very, very good with it. They've added a bunch of CTF modes in the last game, but there's a lot more breadth and a lot more places they can go with that, and obviously that's definitely what I want to see from Need for Speed. And then we also get the racing. So the racing is obviously going to be important. So obviously you're going to have all your main normal modes, so sprint, circuit, but then also new modes. I do want to see Speed Trap want to come back. I want to see Lap Knockout come back. These are all modes which make sense for for the multiplayer. Now in casual, I think there probably should be a few options. So if you do only want to play party mode, you can only play party mode. If you only want to race, you can only race. And if you want to do a mix of both, you can do a mix of both. But I think that's as far as it should go, really. And I'd also like to see classes introduced as well, like a PI system. So actual cars that I say like in like the B class of cars can actually be used at the moment. And if your car isn't the fastest, it's pretty much pointless building it up to that. Like, and unless your car is I think 399, there's no point even racing it because you're not going to find any other cars at 299, etc, etc. So that's kind of like the base of it, the kind of base of things I've sorted. I kind of wanted to get that done and over the way with before we get into the more nerdy stuff, because that's kind of like just setting the scene. So casual is casual, you have your normal modes and all that kind of stuff. Obviously private matches should be a thing as well, so if you do want to go ahead and do this privately, you can do it there, but in private matches you don't earn XP, etc, etc. Now ranked is pretty self-explanatory. It needs to be ranked. 10 placement games, exactly how Horizon does it, just don't do it in teams because that's fucking retarded. Once you do your 10 placement games, you are then given a rank. And I think this should be one of those things where it's not seasonal. I would rather this rank just stay like solid throughout the whole of the game's life cycle. The only reason for that is because I just don't think a month to 3 months is enough time, especially for such a grindy system. Just make it really hard to get to the top and make that the only like don't make it so there's a seasonal change. I don't know, I just prefer that. I think it works with some games, but I just think the way the crew did it, for example, was perfect. It was one of those things that you were really punished if you lost, but you were really rewarded if you won. And that's something which I'm not sure if that would actually ever happen just because live service is such a big thing, but in a perfect world, that's how I'd like to see it. Obviously, the higher you go up in rank, the more rewards you get. And let's say if you get to the top of the most wanted list, you maybe get a most wanted car. Who knows? A bit cheeky, that is. And that's how I'd like to see ranked. I think personally ranked should not include any party modes. I'd only like to see race mode, but then have every single race mode be in the game. So, you know, everything from, you know, speed traps to lap knockouts to sprint races to circuit races. I kind of want to see all that there. I think that's perfect for the mode. I also think with ranked, it should be no collisions for the first 30 seconds. It's quite a big chunk of the race, but obviously it's one of those things. Most of people aren't really going to get into collisions after the first 30 seconds, and I think it will make everything a lot better in terms of griefing and stuff. I think no collision modes should be an option in private matches especially, and in casual. I think that should be a casual playlist, but I think in ranked, the first 30 seconds should be non-contact, and then it turns on. And that's what I want to see ranked as. Ranked should be simple. I don't want them to go overboard with it, because they've proven before that this workload for Ghost is too much, and they have been over-ambitious with their past games. I think if you keep it nice and simple, nice and concise, and you have a polished package, that makes a lot more sense. And I think I have a little kind of trick up my sleeve to kind of top everything. So if all of that is nice and concise and it's polished, they're only going to need one more mode to kind of top everything over the edge. And I think if they add this mode which I'm talking about, it will make up for the lack of, say, innovative stuff in the speedless multiplayer. And that thing I'm speaking about is PINKSLIPS. Yep, I think PINKSLIPS should be added to speedless. So you have casual, you have ranked, and then you have PINKSLIPS and wages. This is like a level beyond ranked, in my opinion. I think maybe if you give players a warning maybe before they enter this, saying maybe, you know, if you go into casual, you get no warnings, it's just you get straight into it. Ranked, it's like you're entering ranked. And then if you go into PINKSLIPS, it's almost like you're entering a prestige in COD. So you press it once, it's like, in this mode, you can possibly lose your car and lose your money. If you run out of money, this could be the end of the game for you. You press it again, it's like, are you sure you want to enter this mode? And once you've entered it, that's it. Even give players a warning saying if you disconnect, then you might lose your car, etc, etc, because obviously network problems are always going to be a thing. But I think if they add that PINKSLIP mode and wager mode into the game, it would make up for the lack of innovative stuff on the other side of speed lists. So let me continue. There's a bit more to talk about this. It's not just as simple as, oh, I want wages and PINKSLIPS in the game, because I've wanted wages and PINKSLIPS in the game for absolutely ages. So wages, how would that work? So again, if any of you guys played Black Ops 1 back in the day, you'll know that there was a certain playlist for the gun game modes. So it was like the easy buy-in where it was like 1,000, there was a medium buy-in where it was like 100,000, and then there was a high rollers buy-in which was 1,000,000. Exact same system in this game. I want to see the exact same system in this game. So you have have a medium buy-in, which is maybe 10k, 10 to 20k. Obviously, when you go into lobbies, I've kind of figured out there's a few mechanisms you can work to change the system. But essentially, once you go into lobbies from there, you do have the option to double down. I think that'll be a really cool thing to do. And if enough people double down, then the whole lobby doubles down on what the original price is by double. So let's say that the least buy-in you can do is 10k. If everyone then opts to double down in that lobby, and everyone can double down in that lobby, they can go ahead and make the max wager 20k. It'll be a pretty cool way of just like making things interesting, and obviously when you get higher up into the higher payouts, this could be a huge thing, and I'm gonna explain this in a minute. So like I said, the low payout is 10k, the medium payout is 100, and then the max payout is 1 million. Now I think this system of doubling down should be the same throughout all of the separate tiers. So in obviously the low one, it's 10k, and if you double down, it's 20. In the middle one, it's 100, and if you double down, it's 200. And obviously, if you get right to the top and you double down, and everyone somehow has loads of money, and you double down from 1 million to 2 million, then that is what it is. I think it'll be really cool to do that. Obviously, it's not going to be one of those things that every lobby is going to be doubled down, because to have that amount of money where you had to play a lot of the game. But that is something I definitely want to see, and I think money should be as hard to come by as it is in Need for Speed 2015, in Need for Speed Payback. And that's wages. I think wages is pretty self-explanatory. That's just how it should be. And then obviously when you go into wages, it has the same kind of criteria as ranked does. So the first 30 seconds are non-contact, etc, etc. No party modes, it should be only racing. That's how I think wages should be, at least in the higher rolling categories. Obviously 100k and 1 million I think should be race only, and maybe in 10 to 20k you can include party modes. And then we come over to PINKSLIPS. And PINKSLIPS is really, really interesting. So PINKSLIPS I think should be one-on-one. I don't think it should be any more than that. I think it should be a 1v1 thing. Maybe even make a whole event of it. So I'm not sure if you guys have played a lot of Initial D. In Initial D you have like a character like face-off screens. Before obviously you go into races, it comes up with their combat record. So it comes out with their stats. So this guy's lost 143 races, won 500 and drew a 1 or something, I don't know. But you have these stats come up before a race, and maybe if there's character customization or something across those lines, it comes up with a character similar to how Forza does it, but it comes up with all their stats beforehand. Before you even go into the race, there's like a little picture of their car, maybe like on a circle pad, like it's in a dealership or something, and you can have a look at the car, and it comes up with all their perks and stuff. That will be really cool, and you make a real go of it. It's one of those things where you kind of put all your eggs in one basket and just really make it this authentic. You make it feel like you're going into something big. This brings a few problems. I think cars need to have a bit of worth for this. Obviously, if you just add a PINKSLIPS mode by itself, it's going to be a bit pointless, because cars they're not really worth much. That's where the wages kind of come into play. It kind of gives a bit more worth to money. I think this is something which could definitely be done. I think wages and PINKSLIPS is something which could save Need for Speed's PvP, and I think it's something which could definitely... I think it's something which the Need for Speed series, especially in its multiplayer and its PvP side, needs. It'd be one of those things, it would tie in nice with the ranked as well, because if you say the M3 GTR and there's only one of these that each player can redeem, and then you go ahead and lose it in a PINKSLIPS race, that could be huge. That is my idea for Need for Speed Speedless in 2019. Please let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. I don't want to ramble for too much longer. I feel like I've rambled for absolutely ages. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to go ahead and hit the like, subscribe. What do you want to hear me talk about next? Is there any specific part of the game that you'd like to hear me speak about? Please let me know down in the comment section down below. But that's been it from me today. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the like, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. You guys have an awesome day. Safe and peace. It's not over yet. So before this video ends, I want to give a quick shout out to StraightUpHippo. They sent me out a bunch of Need for Speed inspired stickers, as well as a few of their own brand stickers. And it's just a real cool company that's being run by a friend of mine. Essentially, they're selling some really cool automotive stickers. So if any of this on your screen interests you, make sure to go ahead and check out the link in the description. They were also kind enough to go ahead and send out a discount code for you guys. So make sure to go ahead and use the discount code HIPPO15 to go ahead and save yourself 15% off. But yeah, we're actually done this time. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed.